What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikaPikaPaPa, and normally I say it is Sunday Fun Day, but today I'm going to say it is Sunday Stud Day because we're going to be looking at some absolute stud cards here on the Movers and Shakers video series this week. Now, if you're unfamiliar with it, what happens is every week TCG Player sends out a list of cards that they want you and me and all of the other Pokemon collecting maniacs out there to be aware of. Sometimes the prices are going up, sometimes they're going down, but what they all have in common is they are starting to move with a higher degree of velocity on the TCG Player website, and they think we should be made aware of it. Now, as we all know, what drives Pokemon card prices, right? Two different things, supply and demand. And so while we don't always know the exact supply out there, certainly when we see cards moving with a high degree of velocity on TCG Player, that tells us there's a high degree of demand. So that's why this video series is so impactful, and I'm telling you, we have been doing it for a very long time now, and we always walk away with some incredible lessons. So I'm very excited to talk about what we're going to see today, and that is primarily because we have been tracking the way singles cards and booster box prices have been moving for a very long time. But what we have seen over the last 3 months has been very different than what we've seen in the past. We've been seeing Sword and Shield booster boxes absolutely go nuts in terms of pricing. And traditionally, when that's happening, at worst, at least the singles cards are somewhat moving in a positive direction. However, they've been totally inverted, right? Booster boxes have been going up, singles prices have been coming down, and at least as far as I'm concerned, that to me was saying, hey, listen, the window of opportunity to buy some of these singles cards is getting narrow. I think that the singles cards are going to flip. I think they're going to start appreciating pretty significantly. I think they're going to fast follow the booster boxes. Again, it's a trend we've seen in the past, and so I was very excited about that. And I think this month we're going to start to see it. Two of the cards that we're going to look at right out of the gate exhibit a pattern where they've started to drop, and then they've hit a little bit of a support line, and now they're starting to gain again. So I pull that singles card data on the 15th of every month, and I promise you, as soon as I do, we'll get a trend video out and we'll see what's going on. But at the end of the day, I just hope you enjoy looking at these awesome cards. I hope you have fun throughout the course of this video. And if you find it insightful, if you find it fun, hit that subscribe button or give us a thumbs up. We do fun stuff like this all the time, and I would love to have you as a member of our community. So with that being said, let's kick down the door and start off with one of the cards that I absolutely love and is starting to show just a little bit of an upward trend versus what we've seen over the last 3 months, and that is the Bubble Mew from Paldean Fates. Now, as you can see on this graph right here, 3 months ago, this card was up at $330. So again, we're talking a move from $330 down to $300. Not a huge drop in the grand scheme of things, but look at what is happening. It is starting just ever so slightly to inch its way back up. The other thing that I want you to focus on, and we talk about that a lot in this video series, is if you look at those light blue bar graphs, those that go up and down, those are the ones that represent buying and selling volume at TCG Player. And what you see over the last couple days and weeks here in regards to this Bubble Mew, you see those light blue bar graphs are starting to shoot up just a little bit, right? Which means the buying volume is starting to go up just a little bit. And a lot of times what happens is we'll see these cards hit a certain round number. This looks to be right around the $300 mark or $295, where the market just says, listen, I'm not going to let this card get any cheaper than that. And when it hits that point, people start to buy it up. We call it a support line, right? And so that's what we're seeing. Now the price is starting to go back up. It is still far too early for us to understand if this is the beginning of a long-term trend, but seeing this early on, having TCG Player call out the fact that we need to be paying attention to it, I think we might see a little bit of a recovery here in the Bubble Mew space. So the next card, and this is a card we talked about on a couple different videos here as of late, and this is the Magikarp from Paldea Evolved. As you know, this has been one of my absolute favorite cards from one of my absolute favorite sets in the Scarlet and Violet era. Now, I blew this graph up to the 6-month view, so we can see, I mean, this card, again, was all the way up near the $300 point. But the reason why I wanted to blow this up is because this is a fantastic example of that support line that I was just referring to on the Bubble Mew. Look at how that bright blue line, it shot all the way up over $300, then it slowly started working its way down over the course of 3 or 4 months, right? That's when the market, we saw things start to soften a little bit. And then look, it spent about 6 weeks just dead flat right below the $200 mark. And I just kept saying, as we started to see the support line form, like, we have seen this pattern happen too many times in the past. I have a strong feeling after this period of support, we're going to start to see the card pick back up in price again. And look what's happened. I mean, over the last, I'd say, I don't know, say 4 weeks here, the card has really started to pop again. It went from $200 all the way up to $232 $32. Matter of fact, it is actually up above where it was 6 months ago. It's up about 4.59%. So if you didn't buy back then, you have the opportunity to buy now at almost the exact same price that it was 6 months ago. You miss out on the big FOMO peak, right? You miss out on the big panic sell all the way down, and you get it right where it was 6 months ago. So I think is a very compelling point to get in on this card. Remember, terrible gem rate, awesome artwork, one of my, in my opinion, best sets from the entire Scarlet and Violet era. I think this card has a very, very bright future. Now, next card that we're gonna look at right here is actually one of my favorite cards from the XY generation, from one of my favorite sets. You know, Roaring Skies was one of my favorites, and if you take out Ancient Origin and Flashfire, obviously those are the big flashy sets, right? But I really like Breakthrough. I love the fact that you got Mewtwo on here, and if you've seen this card in person, you'll understand this image doesn't do it justice. The blues, the reds, the golds with Mewtwo sitting there getting powered up in the middle, like, it is just a really, really cool card. Now, the thing I'll say about this price graph is this is what we talk about sometimes, and there's no guarantee, but you can see that the buying and selling volume went through a recent spike, right? It went all the way up. We had 10 sales of this card in a short period of time, which corresponded with that spike in price. So sometimes that price holds, sometimes it sets a new market value, and maybe this card is going to hold the $150 point. I certainly think it's worthy of that. There's almost no PSA 10s out there, right? Obviously, Mewtwo is one of the biggest names out there. The XY era as a whole has been super, super hot, so I think this card can hold the price. But again, sometimes that's just a temporary blip on the radar because somebody or a group of somebody's went on TCG Player, bought them out, price spikes up, and then it comes back down on the back end. But if any card can hold that $150 price point, I certainly think this one is it. It's a stunning card from a great set, from a forgotten era, which now is super, super hot. So I think it's got all the intangibles to do really, really well. Now, next card on this list, again, we've been talking about the impact of Black Bolt and White Flare, especially on Zekrom and Reshiram cards, right? And here's just another example. Now, this card has a whole lot more going for it besides just having the Zekrom on there, right? You've got Pikachu, which is one of the all-time most popular Pokemon. That's obviously not a surprise. Everybody knows that. And then it comes from the Team Up set. So you have two super popular Pokemon on here. You have all of the, all of the hype, all of the excitement from the Black Bolt set in here as well. You have Team Up, which is the set from the Sun and Moon era. Every card in that Team Up set has just been on absolute fire. And so you see, again, this card was holding at the $50 mark for a very, very long time. And then all of a sudden, Black Bolt, White Flare comes out. Oh my gosh, we got a card from one of the best sets from the Sun and Moon era. It's got Zekrom on it. It's got Pikachu on it. Oh my God, let's panic. Everybody goes out and buys it. And in a span of about 3 months, this card is up 113%, breaking that $100 price point. So stunning card. You guys know how much I love Pikachu. Stunning card, super cool artwork, and again, you're getting it from a really awesome set. So this card, again, is another one which might have that staying power to hold north of that $100 price point. And then the final card on the list, and I had to do it because it was on last week's list, and again, to see it on this list again just fills my heart with joy. So if you look at this, again, I blew this out to a 6-month price graph here. This is the type of growth pattern that gets a data head like me absolutely frothy inside. Like, I absolutely love it. You know, you see that the buying volume has been relatively consistent. You see the price growth has been slow and organic. None of these big spikes or drops or anything like that. This just goes to show you this card was probably very undervalued 6 months ago, coming in at sub $100. This was like a $90 card. Again, it's coming from the Team Up set. Not much more we need to say about that. And you've got Gengar on here. Gengar and Pikachu are like 1 and 1A in terms of popularity in the PikaPikaPaPa household. We love both of them very much. My wife loves Mimikyu, so I mean, this card just hits all the feels for us here at the PikaPikaPaPa channel. And again, 6 months, cards up 143%. It's been incredible to see, but again, the biggest thing that I like about this is you got a big set, you got a big name Pokemon on here, nice, slow, organic growth, no big buyouts, no big crazy price spikes or drops. It just goes to show you that this is a card that I think will absolutely hold on to the momentum. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the long run, and I hope you had value in this video. I think you had fun, and I hope it was everything that you wished for and more, because listen, when you spend time with me on a Sunday, I think that's incredibly valuable, so I just want to thank you for that. And listen, if you enjoyed it, if you had fun, hit that subscribe button or give us a thumbs up. Those two small things go a long way in helping my small channel out, and I really appreciate it. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon. See you later. Bye.